Ratnamma's life was a case of discrimination, injustice, and poverty. She was married at a tender age of 13 years. Born into a poor scheduled caste family, she had to feed her 5 children with the mere income that she earned by fetching firewood from the nearby hillocks. Her husband was a bonded laborer, tied to a rich farmer, so his contribution to the livelihood of the family was nil. Ratnamma had to work from dawn to dusk, fetching the firewood to sell to the villagers in weekly fare. She used to get 20 rupees per stack of firewood. This was hardly enough to get a decent meal to her children. Her husband, who was working for the landlord to clear the debt, would rarely show up at home. She had no answer when the kids asked about the absence of their father in the house. The loneliness used to haunt her, and she endured all this in silence. Having 4 daughters was seen as a curse among the relatives who always talked ill of her. It was this humiliation that hurt Ratnamma more than the poverty she was in. In those days, none of her children were in school. Ratnamma's eldest daughter worked in cotton farms at a tender age of 12 years. She often fell sick because of the chemical fumes she inhaled in the cotton farms. The evil of untouchability was rampant in the village. Poor people were not allowed to pass through the village with footwear. Local hotels used to maintain separate classes for the lower caste people. When thirsty, water was not given in classes. It was poured into the cups of palms because it was believed that the touch of the lower caste people contaminates the glasses. This was the plight of all the people from poor families. The question faced by Ratnamma was that what she could do in a thrift group when her entire earnings was not enough to have a proper meal a day. Encouraged by the volunteers, finally she decides to join the group without informing her husband. Every SOG conducts 4 meetings in a month. Members of the group discuss the day-to-day problems of their families and try to find solutions. In one of the meetings, Ratnamma's struggle for survival becomes the topic in the group's discussion. And it was decided that freeing of her husband from slavery would help her family immensely. The group decided to extend a loan enough to repay the debt to the landlord in the village. It took upon itself to go to the landlord, repay the loan, and free Ratnamma's husband from the chains of bonded labor. The freeing of her husband brought a new phase in her life. With the help of the self-help group, Ratnamma and her husband took a piece of land on lease, cultivated vegetables in it, and sold them in the markets. Because of this new livelihood, their income level rose, and gradually the loan taken from the group was repaid. The coming together of these women led to a realization that banishing the bonded labor and child labor would pave the way for the welfare of the girl child. So a school was set up by the SHG Federation for those children who worked in the farms. And Ratnamma's eldest daughter was the first to get enrolled as a student. It took great courage for Ratnamma to resist the pressure from the members of the caste and relatives who opposed the enrollment of her eldest daughter in the school. She was a pioneer in promoting girl-child education in that village. Later on, 50 poor families in that village followed her and sent their children to the child labor camp. Ratnamma wonders that how three daughters of a poor, once untouchable woman have completed general nursing.
అమ్మాయిని నాలాగా చదివించినందుకు ఇప్పుడు నేను గౌరవంగా మీ ఎదుట నేను చెప్పగలుగుతున్నానంటే నా ఇద్దరి బిడ్డలకి గవర్నమెంట్ జాబ్ వచ్చింది. ఒక అమ్మాయి 12,000 తీసుకుంటుంది, ఒక అమ్మాయి 22,000 తీసుకుంటుంది, ఒక అమ్మాయి ప్రైవేట్ జాబ్గా 5,000 తీసుకుంటుంది. బాబు బీటెక్ ఫైనల్ ఇయర్ చదువుతున్నాడు, చిన్న అమ్మాయి డిగ్రీ ఫైనల్ ఇయర్ చదువుతుంది.
Ratnamma took the lead and many followed her. She began as a member of the group and then became leader of the village organization, and she also led a federation of 10,000 poor women as the president. Now, Ratnamma is a proud owner of 2-acre farm and a cozy house. Her husband is a land-owning farmer.
ఏంటంటే ఈ సంఘంలో చేరిన తర్వాత పిల్లల్ని చదివించుకోగలిగిన, నా భర్త వెట్టి చాకరీ విముక్తి చేసుకోగలిగిన, నేను ఇతర రాష్ట్రాలు పోయి నాకు కేస్ స్టడీ ఎలా ఉందో వాళ్ళకి చెప్పి వాళ్ళను అందరినీ ఒక సంఘాలుగా చేసి వాళ్ళకి బ్యాంకుల అకౌంట్గా చేసి వచ్చాను. అలాగనే ఇతర దేశాలు కూడా శ్రీలంకకి వెళ్ళొచ్చాను. రోజుకు ₹1 దాచిపెట్టి నేను రోమ్కి వెళ్ళొచ్చాను. రోజుకు ₹1 దాచిపెట్టి రోమ్కి వెళ్ళొచ్చాను. అక్కడ కూడా నాకు 5 నిమిషాలు ఇచ్చారు. 5 నిమిషాలలో నాకు కేస్ స్టడీ మొత్తం చెప్పాను. నాకు వట్టి తాడు ఉండేది గొంతులో, కానీ సంఘములు వచ్చిన తర్వాత నేను 6 తులాల బంగారం చేయించుకోగలిగినాను. అలాంటి కాళ్ళ పడాలు పట్టీలు అవలే చేయించుకోగలిగాను. ఇలాంటి సంఘం ద్వారానే నేను ఆస్తులు ఇదే సొమ్మే కాకుండా నేను ఒక 5 లక్షల రూపాయల ఇల్లు కట్టించుకోగలిగినాను.
A cure is discovered to the evil disease of poverty. The cure is self-help groups and their federations. And this magic is effective everywhere on the face of earth. Ratnamma took this message to lakhs of poor women like her who are living in remote villages of Bihar, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and even Jammu and Kashmir.